Yeah, but we want it to pick us up. You ready? Yep. You should be good. Great. Well, good morning, at least on the West Coast. Your host for this info session is Bill Bender, the professor and chair of the Department of Construction Management. Bill, you want to say hello?
Good morning.
Myself, Joe Mahoney. I'm in the head of the construction group in civil and environmental engineering, and Tim Larson, who is he's the co-director of our MSCE Energy Infrastructure, as I. So we'll go through some of the basics about both of the programs, and hopefully this will be helpful. Also, I want our two very key graduate advisors in our department. Jennifer Ross is here. She's head of chief advisor for our online graduate programs, of which there's 4 in this department. And Eric Huberty, who is one of our primary graduate advisor in the Department of Civil Engineering. He kind of handles everything else other than online. And Bill, you're advisor in CM?
And I'm the advisor for all the students, new students in the online masters in CM.
Okay. All righty. Let's do an introduction to the MSCE, MSCM jointly offered construction online program. Bill, would you like to start?
Sure. Why this degree? One of the neat things about this degree is there's a specialization that's available, and the specialization is in heavy civil construction. As you probably know, infrastructure in the U.S. is routinely being upgraded, and the foreseeable future is lots of upgrades and new infrastructure projects are out there. The projects are more complex, they're larger, the schedules are tighter. Projects are trying to get done when the users are still using them. So there's a huge demand in this field for engineers, construction managers, people with technical skills to have the final technical skills to solve these complex problems.
Okay. 2 departments and degree options, and essentially the same basic program serves both departments and the students in those departments. We have our is a Master of Science in Civil Engineering, and Bill's is a Master of Science in Construction Management. And like I say, the 2 departments teamed up to develop this program some years ago and offer it. It's the online learning format. We conform to the University of Washington 10-week academic quarter, which is standard here, as opposed to what some people may be more familiar with, the 14 or 15-week semester system, but we stick with the quarter system. So we start and end with the university calendar. The interaction with the instructors can occur on many levels, or several levels. But generally, the online discussion boards that we do every week is a primary sort of source of interaction, as well as feedback about projects and papers and things, depending on the course and what exactly is expected for submittals. All of the courses use the Canvas learning management system, so everything's done electronically, online. All the lectures are delivered as PDFs. All the discussion questions, the online quizzes. Most of the exams that are done are really to encourage reviewing the content in the weekly lectures, and those exams are done online with possibly 1 course or 2.
We have a couple CM courses that proctor the exams.
Yeah, otherwise, so there's a couple of exceptions. Basically, what we can say is that students that do this sort of learning format is kind of an independent learning style. There are some folks that really greatly prefer to be in a classroom setting. The demographics for this degree program really doesn't conform very well to that, since virtually all of our students are a bit older and they work full-time for the most part. And that just doesn't lend itself to an on-campus setting most of the time. So basically, it's a part-time program. That's what we expect, and it takes 2 or 3 years to finish. for this particular master's program, there's about 10 UW faculty instructors that deliver the courses, and 30% of those instructors are out of industry or agency-based instructors.
So the Master of Science in Construction Management, the minimum requirements are, there you go, Master of Science in Construction Management. The minimum requirements are you have to have a bachelor's degree in something. And then if you have a bachelor's degree in construction management or building science or civil engineering, you can automatically gain acceptance and not have to complete what we require is a CM certificate. The CM certificate applies to students that have, for example, degrees in history or biology or geology, but they're working in the industry and they realize they need to get a credential to advance their careers. And so what we require them to do is earn a CM certificate that is also available online. And there's 4 courses involved in that: estimating, scheduling, safety, and project management. The other unique, maybe not unique, but in order to get accepted by the graduate school, there is a minimum 3.0 GPA required in your undergraduate curriculum.
We'll back up and go to the minimum requirements for the MSCE. And basically, it's a bachelor's degree in engineering from an accredited college or university, or its equivalent, and internationally. The same basic issues or requirements as the construction management department. And what we have found over the years that we've offered this program, that we've had electrical engineers, we've had mechanical engineers, civil engineers, industrial engineers, etc., take this course of study, and they do just fine. So just be aware that it's not strictly a civil engineering degree requirement.
So we have a couple different types of students. We have the students that apply for the master's program and get accepted by the graduate school and choose to go through the curriculum either as a full-time student, but like Joe said, most of our students are working full-time, and so they do 1 or 2 classes a quarter, so it takes you 2 to 3 years to finish. Another type of student is a graduate non-matriculated student. So these are students that have applied to the graduate school that want to take a class, want to try it out. So you can take a class as a graduate non-matriculated student, and up to 12 of those credits can be applied toward your degree requirements. So if you're thinking about, this online learning, you're thinking about the master's, but you're not sure you want to commit fully to it, this is a great way to go. You can take a class or 2 or 3 or 4 and have those credits applied.
Well, and speaking of the student profiles, we checked this recently, and we had about 35 active students between the departments, and these are the statistics that we saw. You can see them here on the screen. Wide variety of employers, average age about 35, although that varies from year to year depending on who's applied. But we don't have a lot of very recent BS in CM or civil engineering types of students apply, and that's okay, because we have found that working with a student that has some experience is quite a delightful thing to experience.
And you'll also experience that as a student. As Joe was mentioning, a lot of our assignments include a discussion board, and it helps you learn as a student, because we might be talking about pile driving or something, and there might be a student in the class that's what he does for a living. And so he can really expand on the topic.
We have 4 admission windows, shall we say, throughout the year. And there's the dates as published by the University of Washington. We have with our team of Jennifer and Eric and Bill, we have taken applications after deadlines. If we can work them in, if we can get the student in, get them signed up and ready to go, those probably my associates are probably going to be upset with me, but really they're guidelines more than a deadline. And probably that's what we ought to call it. But it's a good target to hit for getting your materials together and get in. And you will find that one of the things that's missing from an application is the GRE. We found some years ago that the GRE, or the demographic of the students that we typically get in this program, is really fairly unhelpful. And so we dropped the requirement, and for a very, very good reason. So,
and we have also dropped the requirement, but you will see the requirement for the GRE out there. It's still hidden in places that we can't seem to clean up off our websites or whatever. But don't worry, you do not need the GRE. You do need that 3.0 GPA though.
Yeah, indeed. And so for additional information, Jennifer, again, is our lead person, grad advisor in civil engineering. Bill handles that job. The chairman of the department handles that job in construction management. So you hear it from the top person over there. And also, I'm available as well. Here's the emails and so forth. So, and if you have questions, I assume that you'll be typing those in. We'll deal with those shortly.
One quick thing I'll add, I get asked this a lot, is because it's an online degree, what does my transcript say, or what does my diploma say? Well, both departments offer Master of Science degrees, both face-to-face and both online, and they're the same. The degree you earn will not say Master of Science in Construction Management online. It will say Master of Science in Construction Management or Civil Engineering. Nowhere does it say that. The two degrees are equal.
Absolutely, and we can even add a further note there on your transcript. Again, the individual courses that are shown are they're approved UW courses. They go the same. The online courses go through the same approval process as any course at the university does. And so, if the online designation is something that you would rather not see, you're not going to see it. Because as Bill said, it's not on the degree title, it's not on the courses. And that's the way it should be, because they're approved collectively on campus, online, all kind of get treated the same as they should. Okay.
Okay, so if you have, this is a good general overview. If you have questions, if you see on the bottom of your Zoom screen, there should be a chat window. Feel free to type in any questions you have. We'll stick around for a little bit. If not,
we got another degree to do.
Oh, are we going to do the?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just run through that. Right.
And we'll, yes. So we'll talk about EI in a second. But let's keep the questions focused to this. So if you have it, maybe we'll give it 2 or 3 minutes, and then we can jump into the other one and go from there.
Well, what we could do, actually, just to save their time, is we can jump into the next bit of content on the energy infrastructure masters. And while they're thinking about it, if they want to listen to that, they're welcome. And or that may be why
Perfect.
they tuned in today.
Sounds great. Yeah. So keep those questions coming.
We'll just take a few minutes to do that. Okay.
Great.
So the next one is the MSCE in energy infrastructure. Now, I want to hasten to add, even though this is not a joint effort between civil engineering and construction management, if you look at the course listing on the website, what you quickly find is that we use a number of construction management courses in this program, because the program is about sort of balance of plant types of infrastructure. It's not about how to design specific components on a wind turbine, for example. That's really different specialty. This is really about planning, general design of roads, layouts, access, permits, construction, preliminary design. It covers all those things, but it's not, necessarily about how do you design a specific wind turbine blade, for example. That's a different specialty altogether, and merits a very, very different kind of program. So just be aware of that. So why this degree? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. You can read the text on this image just as easily as I can to you, but really it's all about the changing technology. The media is full of articles and understanding that the whole energy game is changing, whether it's power plants moving from more traditional fossil fuels to renewables, as they have done in a remarkable way in the last few years, as well as a lot of use of natural gas, and also the infrastructure associated with things like electric vehicles and so forth. So, which is accelerating the switch from internal combustion engines to electrics. Anyway, why this degree? Well, there's a whole range of professions that are ready for folks that are trained this way. But what we try to do is we don't focus exclusively on energy infrastructure. We try to look at some of the broader aspects of construction and location and so forth. The courses, again, just like we talked about a few minutes ago, follow the 10-week quarter. And so this just simply repeats what you saw if you were with us a few minutes ago. The online, in this case, more of our instructors are out of industry or agency based, and about 40%, 60% are, and about 40% are UW faculty. Minimum requirements. Well, a degree in engineering, a bachelor's degree in a STEM-related subject. We found that works actually quite well. And with experience in an energy-related field, or a bachelor's degree in architecture, or plus 3 years of and that term architecture is broadly taken to be the built environment, I think. So it's and again, graduate non-matriculated students and international students are welcome to apply. International students, again, no visa. It's all online. You're welcome to apply. All the tuition is the same for everyone. Doesn't matter whether they live in the state of Washington, United States, or another country. It doesn't matter. Nothing changes. And again, the graduate non-matric, you can take up to 12 credits toward a degree if you wish to apply later, for the program. The deadlines and dates are pretty much the same as we noted. Actually, they're exactly the same as we noted earlier. And Jennifer Ross, who's here, and she can answer questions as well, and we're the two main persons that you can turn to for any further information. And that concludes our official remarks. Bill, any closing remarks? Bill Bender is still here, and
no, we're ready for your questions.
So if you just joined us, go in the chat. Feel free if you have any questions about logistics of on-campus versus online programs, those kinds of things. Does Tim have anything he wants to say?
any questions? Jot them down. We'll be happy to address them. All of us that are involved in these 2 degree programs, it's actually fairly rare that we all get together under one roof. So delighted to try to address any issues you may have. The course fees, all those kinds of things are on the websites. Each course that's offered is described, all the instructors, their background, and so forth, which maybe you've already looked at. Certainly, we tried to give you as much information as we could without getting into too many details. So,
do you want to do ask questions? Do you have a different email? Do you want to do maybe? So, well, if it doesn't look like we have a ton of questions, we can sign off. But as you're looking into this program, if more things come up, feel free to reach out to us directly. This is Eric, by the way. For on-campus questions, the best place to reach us is ceginfo@uw.edu. And if there are things I can't answer, I'm happy to relay it to Joe or Bill. For online programs,
feel free to contact me at either uwce@uw.edu or jenross1@uw.edu.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions. So thanks for joining us today, and let us know what you need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.